This time? No, right then, we should be live now, hopefully. So, Robert's here, I know. If you can hear us okay, Robert, or anybody, let us know. Put a comment down or something like that, but we'll carry on anyway, regardless. So, whether you can hear or not, we're away. We might as well get started. So, joined by Theodore.
Nice to meet you.
Say hello.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
Right, so Theodore and I, we train Monday to Friday every day around about 10 o'clock. Theodore, for those who don't know, come here fighting, Thai boxing for those who don't know what it is. It's like Thai boxing. He's had loads of fights, loads of wins, loads of smashing people up, stuff like that. So I used to train at his gym, and then one day, about a year and a bit ago, Theodore came over, wanted to see what I was doing, some old fat git in a bag. And then we had a bit of a spar, and he said, right, I want to train with you. So, and that's it. So we've been training together ever since. Nelly, the things back there, loud and clear, good, nice one. I can't read it back here, it's too far away, but watching Nelly. So we've been training together, like I say, ever since. Theodore has made a few little improvements since then.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So
a lot.
what we're going to show you today is some techniques that people have asked for. I'm not going to put them on properly because they hurt. Some of the drills that we use every day, and some of the tips and tricks that we use and that Theodore uses in his fights, and that we would recommend you use for self-defense. Okay, so we're going to swap sides. Jolly Pants is here. Good on you. Right, we're going to swap sides because this breakable's this side of me, because we have to do this in a front room because it's late at night over here. There's air conditioning on. I don't care, it's staying on. It's nearly 40 degrees centigrade. It's 95% humidity, and it's just after 9 o'clock at night. So the aircon's staying on. I'm not going to be sweating like a pig just for this. You'll have to put up with background noise if there is any. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of little drills first. Okay, now bear in mind that we would have already have done 3 rounds without a break of skipping as fast as you can possibly go. Okay, they would be done as fast as you can possibly go, and it's hard. Yeah, so do you want to do that? Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Show you the first drill, very light, just steady first of all. So just do 3 or 4 coming forward, right, and 6, and then going backwards. Nice one. That's it. Thank you, Peter. Can you do like 3 or 4 going towards the camera and away from the camera? So just watch out why the feet stay all the time. And going backwards. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Now, you see the width of the feet? That's important. When you go wide like that, if you come back narrow, it makes it too easy for you. You've got to stay wide with it. I'll explain why afterwards. So that's stage 1 of that drill. And that's done for 1 full round, 1 full 3-minute round. 1 full 3-minute round. The next stage is that you're going to bring your shoulders in, so that when you go to the side, the shoulder drops like you're moving out the way of a strike. And it's this shoulder using the DEF and that twist that comes in that gives it that oomph with it. So do you mind starting over there doing 3 or 4 towards me, please, Theodore? Watch the shoulder, how it dips, pop, 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 and then go backwards. Thank you. Do you mind doing like 3 or 4 to the camera? Watch the shoulder dip again. And then going backwards. That way, thank you, Theodore. So again, that would be 1 full round of that, right? So you've now done 3 rounds of skipping without a break. You straight into this, 1 round up and down non-stop with the first one, then straight into another round non-stop of that second one. And it's a killer. It's an absolute killer. Then there's 1 more bit on this drill that we do. This is our warm-up. The next bit is what we call Duranit, right? You'll understand why as we go on throughout this thing. So the next bit, do you mind just showing a couple, 2 or 3 of the Duran part of it? Dip, and then slowly pop, okay? And again, dip, and then pop. So now, just do the drill, please, Stephen. So just do like 3 or 4.
Okay.
So this is a bit of good. Go backwards. Good, thank you. Do you mind doing 3 or 4 towards the camera? Okay, backwards. No. Thank you. The important part on that one is that when you dip down, it's almost like you bounce off the floor. So it's dip and hit. So it's pop, pop. So you get that pop, pop with it. And that would be our standard warm-up drill. So we've done the 3 rounds of skipping, 1 round the first one, round the next one, round the next one. That's 6 rounds. You should be fairly warm by then. Then we go into shadows and then bag work, pad work, not pad work, but bag work and sparring, something like that. Pad work, I've always said pad work is BS. And it is the way I've seen it, the way I don't like it, but the way we do it is different. We'll probably show you a little bit on that later on. But people ask for some of the drills that we do. So we will do, or attempt to do 20 rounds a day. Sometimes we get it done, sometimes we just can't physically do it. Today, I only managed about 14, 15, something like that. You did 18, I think.
Yeah.
18. It's hard. It's intense. It's hard. If you can get 20 done at the intensity that we say to do it at, you're fit enough not to need to do it, if that makes sense. So it's really, really difficult. Really difficult. Okay, some techniques now that people wanted. Yeah. Hold on. Was there some coming? Hey, Dave. Right. You're here. Right. David. You wanted something, and I can't remember what it was. If you leave us a note on here, David, we'll get your thing done that you wanted to get done. I can't remember what it was. Grappling, get out of it, Johnny. You already know the story of the grappler. All right? He smashed them all up first, right? Anyway, so some of the techniques that people are asking about, very, very simple ones, right? And do you mind swapping sides a second? I'll show it on this arm because I think it might be easier for them to see. I'm not going to hurt. Right. When people were talking about Kota Gaesh last week, this wrist, well, most people do it where they bend this, it bends like that, look. They bend it like that. Obviously not like with this finger, but they get it bent like that and they twist it round. However they do it, whether they're in here with it, they're like this with it, or whatever they do, and they push and push and push until it's gone far enough this way. I'm just going to show that it goes past the elbow, look. And once it gets past the elbow, the balance starts to go, and then that's the Kota Gaesh. I don't like doing it like that because if I start to do that, I want you to just make a fist and be strong when I strike. Let me have it first, and then suddenly just make a fist and be strong. Now I'm not going to get it, right? And if he just pulls away and starts fighting, it's not going to happen. So the way we like to do it, I'm not going to do, well, I'll show you then. We enter from here. Now, it doesn't matter if he makes a fist. In fact, you want him to make a fist. Again, loads of gaps so you can see what's going on. But pushing with this elbow in, that creates this bit here. Once he resists, be strong. Now I've got it here because now it's just a question of keeping this here and then it's going to go. So what we have, do you mind just holding it there, but not strong so I can show him what it is. It's now straight here. I'm not trying to bend the wrist, I'm not trying to get it like this. I don't care if that's straight. I hold it here, and just go that way, and they're gone. So once you've entered here, once they resist, here, and you just slam, and that's the way we recommend Kota Gaesh. Okay, so that's exactly how we would recommend you do it. But like I say, let me bend it. It's not bending here. Be strong, please, Theodore. It's taking the whole thing. Then it doesn't matter how strong he is here. Doesn't matter. You're grabbing this, and it goes around that way and back, and it just works. Much, much easier to do it that way. Thank you. Okay, the next one. I've just got to look at my stuff over here because I've forgotten what the next one was. No, here it is. The hitting bit. Right. You might come this way, I'll show from. I've got to show both bits. Right. Okay. Yes. My ears are getting bigger. No, it's just my face is getting smaller. Don't worry about it. Okay, so a lot of people are asking about the waveform stuff and the elbow and the punch, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to show the movement and you can add the weapon into it, whichever one you want. Show you the basic movement first, right? And then we'll discuss the DEF. If you really want to know the DEF and you haven't looked it up, it's on YouTube channel. So just look through after this at the DEF for an in-depth discussion on it. Or not discussion, instruction even. Waveform. People get all over the place with this. They think it's just hitting. It's not. It's a whole body movement for everything. For movement, for evasive movement, that drill that we did at the beginning, well rather Theodore did at the beginning, he's using this, the DEF of the wave. It's in here. When he drops down here, he's using this. When the punch comes back, he's using the other side, pop. So that you're getting this DEF being used in everything that you do. So this whole body movement is there. That drill that we did, or Theodore did rather, was designed to get you to move properly. Right? So you can move fast, dynamically, and with power every single time. Right? Hence the reason for the drill. We don't do drills, I'm waffling on now, but I'm going to keep waffling on. We don't do drills just for the sake of doing a drill. We do drills that are specific to the goal that we're trying to achieve, which the Theodore is super fast, super dynamic, super powerful striking whilst keeping yourself safe and in balance and getting the opponent off balance and being in the right place. So there's a lot of stuff to it. I thought you did ask. Sorry. All right. Waveform elbow and the link to doing hooks. Yeah, that's coming up now. That's what we're doing. That's probably what it was. I don't know. But I thought you did. Anyway, so back onto this movement. This hip is important. This ankle is important. Once this hip goes over the ankle, you start to lose balance and you'll go forward, just like you do when you walk. When you walk, put your foot down, you push off the back one, this hip goes over the ankle, you lose balance, you fall forward, and then you step. That's what you're doing. So the waveform for striking is no more than walking. It's basically all it is. The next thing that people get wrong, because most people have the hip behind, the hip is behind the ankle. So it reduces the amount of power you can get. For sport, obviously you want it there, but for self-defense, you can be more stood up here hitting somebody. So, but you can still use it for sport. So we want to make sure that we can move this hip over here before we do anything with the other hip. Right? The other thing that we need to do is alignment. Most people stand like this in front of each other. Right? If I'm going to do an elbow, I really want to be off to the side here. So to find out where your power is with an elbow, you need to put your thumb in your sternum, and just here, where your elbow is here, that's where your power is. So if you stand in front of somebody like that, your power's here. So to hit them in the head with it, you've got to do a lot of moving around. You've got to really maneuver yourself around to get into the right place. So to practice it, we just say move off to the side and move towards the pad until you get to where you need to be, which is uncomfortably close to that pad. Right? So, do you mind just standing here, please, so you can see what I mean about the alignment? Most people are here, like this, right? So, I'm stood in front of Theodore to hit him, not the right place to be with the elbow. So, to put my elbow, my thumb in my sternum, put my elbow in the right place, I'm at right here. Very, very off angle. The next thing I need to do is get my hip ready here, know my distance here, and understand about this rear hip. So now if we come around again, please, Theodore. I'm not going to hit yet, I'm going to explain this rear hip. So now this rear hip. So this front hip goes over the ankle. This rear hip accelerates forward. Just like it would accelerate if you were throwing something, whether it be a javelin, throwing a ball, whatever it is. This hip has to accelerate first here, boom. And then the weapon, whatever it may be, will follow. So mind your fingers, please. I don't want to. Put it that way, just in case it's got more weight there. I'm not going to hit yet. So this accelerates here, and then the strike. This accelerates, and then the strike. So we teach an elbow first before we teach a hook, for example. And I'll explain why. Let's do the straight one first, then we'll do the hook one, so you can understand what I mean. This accelerates, then this hits. So I'll just do a little one, okay? So nice and relaxed, accelerate, and hit. Right? Accelerate, and hit. So you get a nice oomph with it. Very different to the standard elbows that you know from come here, Thai box, blah, blah, blah. So now the hook. Right. So the hook punch, right? We teach to hook with the elbow first. So if you hold it in the same place, please, I'll move around you, it's okay. So we're here, and do this angle, you might see it, but so we're here square on as if it was right, pop, pop. So it's like I'm here, and the hook's going in here, but because the pad's here, it's here. So instead of teaching the hook with the punch first, we'll teach it with an elbow first. So we're here, still the same thing. Weight goes over, weight twists round, and then the hook of the elbow goes in. So you can see a bit more. This one is the non-hitting side. This is going to be the hitting side. So this hip goes over to one side. I'm going to exaggerate the movement. You wouldn't do it this big. This hip goes over to one side, bang. This hip accelerates round. Then this goes in. Now we teach people to do it from this position. And I'll explain why we do it from here first, in a minute, sorry. From this position. So the hands are in here protecting everything. And at that point, this goes and this goes. So I'll just do a little. So it's here and round. So they get a nice oomph from here without this. It's from here. It must be from here and here and here. I'll explain why in a moment on that, but it's always from here. So this, I won't hit, this translates into the hook punch. So if you can understand the elbow first, the hook becomes a lot easier. So it's why we teach the hook after the elbow. Well, mate, so I can't see the screen from here, but I'll keep coming in. Where's Steve? Oh yeah, Steve's not here. Oh, here, there he is. Hey, hey, Steve's here. Right, Steve. We miss you, Steve. Steve. For those who don't know, Steve's one of our guys in Luton. Once your lockdown's over, get to Luton, train with Steve. Top chap. One of the best. And one of the best people you'll ever meet. Hold on, another one coming away. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I won't give away too much, Steve. Don't worry. We're doing a little bit today. Right, so, yeah, so we'll do that. Why are we here? Well, sorry, Ted, I'm going to need that on. We'll put that back. Why here? Right. We do a lot with police all around and security people. And imagine that I've got my baton or a knife or a gun in my hand. Most of the problems that police have is when they draw their weapon, it's taken off them. Most of the dangers that they have. Most of the times they get shot, it's with their own gun. Most of the time they get hit, it's with their own baton. Most of the time they get CS, it's with their own CS canister. All that sort of stuff. It gets taken off them. So we teach to have here. So whatever you're holding in your hand, let's say it's in this hand, you're protected here with it. So if Theodore just grabbed my arm to try and get rid of it, I've still got my non-stop elbows to get out of it. And believe you me, when you're in here and you back up and you pop those in full speed, full power, they're not keeping hold of you. They are not going to keep hold of you. And where does it end up? Back to the stuff that we always teach. If you, do you mind just grab that on one side? Watch what happens. I'm going to do slow motion. I'm in here. This rolls over and comes to here. Where does it come to? Back to that bent elbow wrist lock, S lock, Nikyo, whatever you want to call it. If you grab to this side, same thing. It comes to here. There's no way they're going to hold your grip. There's no way they're going to keep that grip on. It's so simple. Be as strong as you like. There's no way. So when you do it full speed, full power, hit into here, and you keep striking with it, they're not going to take that weapon off you. Once we had the police and security services holding like this when they got the weapon, rather than being here with it, or doing this kind of thing, or in here with it, they were able to keep their weapon much easier, and it was so rare that it got taken off them. When they're doing this kind of thing, they knock their arm down, they just slap it out of the way, bang, and then it's on you. It's just, you don't want to be there, all right? So that was the reason for that. A couple more techniques that people wanted was from the comments. Hold on, Steve. Oh yeah, you. Oh, Jazz. Is Jazz there? Oh, it is. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, it had to be Jazz. All right. No idea. Oh, you got that message I sent you earlier, Jazz? Right. Last week, people were talking about Gay Down Bright, low section block, and John and I were saying, if you think of it as a block, it's always going to be a block. I've had quite a few emails from people asking me about the armbar thing of it and what other things it could be used for and all that sort of stuff. So, just it might be easier this side, please do. I'll do it very gentle. Right. Let's assume for 1 minute that you've already got in here, you've done something, you got hold of the arm, however you're going to do it. Standard police issue thing, you're in here like this, and then you hold it in there, and you drop down, and you get your arm bar, you take them down, and all that sort of stuff. Works, no problem with it, it just works. A lot of effort, but it does work. So we're all about taking away the effort required to make it work, but not taking away the effort you would put in when it's a real situation. Just taking away the effort that you Just taking away the effort that's actually required in order to make it work. So, if I'm here with Dido and I'm lucky enough to have got his arm, if I try to apply pressure on here and do it the way a lot of people talk to, which is pushing down like this, allow me to push it a little bit and then don't actually fight me, but just resist, just stop it from working. As I start to do that, now be strong, don't let me do it. Be strong, just fight it. Right? I'm not gonna get that on. Right, I'm trying another way. Go on. That was just too much. It's not gonna work. You're gonna be fighting and it's gonna be difficult. Right? So what we're looking to do is to use here. Right? You're gonna have to just really zoom in yourself somehow, right? But just here. Okay? So there's the elbow bending up. So just up from the elbow. If you feel in there, you'll feel a couple of little tendons. It's in the middle of those tendons. So once you're here with it, and I touch those tendons, ever so gentle, it has a very different sort of feel to it.
Yes.
I'm just touching. There's nothing there, okay? You know, we don't joke around with it. It's true, right? So you've got to then start to think, why did it work? How did it work? What made that happen? There's lots of little things going on that we need to explain. One is, when I'm doing it like this, Theodore has alignment in his arm and strength. So that makes it more difficult for me to start off with. So when I'm here and I grab here, I twist. It's like when we're colouring stuff here, when I grab here, when it's wrist control, it's twisted. It's not just a grab, when we're in here, it's twisted because it hurts more. So when this is grabbed, it's twisted. So that twist, that rotational torque in here starts to rob the strength. If I leave it aligned, he's strong. He's probably stronger than I am. Well, in fact, I know he is. But when it's twisted, it's not. So that's one thing. So you misalign it straight away. Once it's misaligned, I'll do this gently, just go with me. Once it's misaligned, we're going to take away gaps. Right? We've got a huge gap here. If I try to do, I'll give the alignment back. If I try to do it out here, just be strong enough, I'm never going to get it, right? I'm too far away. Even if I take away the alignment, let me twist it. Now be strong, just be strong. Even when I take away the alignment, I can't get it because I've got too much of a gap. When I take away the alignment and take away the gap, now be strong as you like. It's very difficult for you, isn't it? sorry. It's very difficult for Theodore,
Yeah.
because the gap's gone. So that's another thing. The other thing is I'm not straight in front, I'm at an angle. So once I've got an angle of 45 degrees, it's really even worse for Theodore. Once this arm goes at 45 degrees, it gets even worse for Theodore. Once I slam through there and pull back in here, it gets even worse. I'm not going to do any of this for you, right? But once just a touch here, and you can see the reaction it's starting to get. So you've got to imagine what it's like when it's done here. We haven't put the waveform in, we haven't put the DEF in. None of that's gone in yet.
I very feel.
You very feel. So we like that saying from Alexander Usyk, who soon to be world heavyweight champion, once Tyson Fury retires. This DEF, once this goes in, it's one of those, how do you feel? I very feel.
Yes.
So this comes in. So you've got to imagine what it's like when all of that is in there together. It's devastating. So just a very simple thing that the police use, that we advocate to use, is this movement on that armbar. When it comes to catabunka, things like that, use your imagination. Where else are you going to see things where you're pulling and hitting, things like that. Whether it's an arm this way, whether it's the head that you've grabbed and you're doing something with it, whatever it may be. I would say if it looks like that move, then that's what it means. Simple as that. So another one that we had a lot of people asking about was move away closer, and what the F is this half step you talk about. Okay. Half step has to be your favourite.
Yeah.
Roundabout. Once Theodore understood the half step, it was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Great for him, but a nightmare for everybody else. The people that you used to spar with before, this is on you were even-ish, bit better than those people. And what was it like after the half step?
Was it
You just
easy?
easy. He was toying with it.
Was it easy?
And a few months ago, we didn't know he was a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
This UFC guy come in the gym, sparred with Theodore. He wouldn't do another round. I told him, you're not allowed to hit. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. Whilst he's sparring, I'm saying to him, don't hit him. Don't hit him. It's too easy. Don't hurt him. Doesn't it? Just half step him, and that was it. And the guy wouldn't do the second round. He couldn't hit him. Couldn't land on him.
Yeah.
And then we find out he's won loads of bonuses in the UFC. Go figure. Anyway, there you go. We'll do the move away closer and then the half step. Do one after another. We'll do it from this side first, then we'll swap sides so you can see exactly what's going on. You want to just get the normal boxing stance, please, do. Right. Don't do it our way yet. Okay. Just that's fine. That's good. Right. So
That's for
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So we get to you first of all, you find a distance where you can just reach each other. So Theodore can just reach me. I can just reach Theodore. With my backhand, I can just reach, and Theodore can just about reach me. So we found that distance. I'll explain all the alignment later on, but first we'll do that. Now watch my back foot. Theodore's not going to move at all. His feet stay exactly where they are. Do not move. You stay where you are. I'll show it, and then you do your half step. So watch my feet. My back foot is going to move backwards. You can see it's moved backwards. Now he can't reach me. He's miles away without leaning in. But I can hit with my backhand into the jaw. Bang. So something is right for me because I can still hit, but wrong for Theodore. So thank you. So we've altered those angles. We'll show it from the other side. So we get, if you go stay southwards, they might be able to see better. And then, so we get to a distance where we can just about reach each other. So Theodore can just about reach me. I can just about reach Theodore. Backhand the same. Backhand the same. I move backwards. Miles out. I can reach. But I've moved backwards. So something's wrong. How can you move backwards and be closer? Well, it's the angle that you're taking. So this is a bit weird. It takes some explaining. Think of a triangle. If you understand mathematics basic, think of a 3, 4, 5 triangle, right? So we've got a 4, a 3, and a 5, right? So I want his 5 to be the other way round, if that makes sense. So that when I go here, right, I've created a 3, but his here to here is a 5. If that makes any sense to you. Hopefully it does. By twisting the triangles around, you can make one side longer, the other side shorter. I hope that makes some sense. So that this angle is altered. So I've taken this triangle now and moved it over to here. So I'm now closer with this hand. Even though I've gone backwards, this hand's got closer because the triangle's changed. Now obviously you're doing that on the move, you're moving around. When you're doing stuff, if you move a little bit as well, not too much, you're just moving around and you find a place, boom, okay, got him from there. He can't reach me, but I can reach him. And that's what we would do as a little thing when you're sparring, is just try to get those positions all the time. Another question. Oh yeah, Steve, we did that in thing. And then we did it at Powerhouse Peaks, remember? We were talking about stuff there. Yeah, we'll do some examples of favourite setups to get in on a defence. Yeah, getting in on. Yeah, no problem. Okay, now the half step. Okay, so we get again standard distance first of all. So we're here now at this distance, at standard distance, in all of the not all, I'm going to say in I'll just say it, in all of the Thai boxing come here fights I saw. Even Theodore's ones, it was a case of you stand here, you hit me, bang, I hit you, bang, bang, you hit me, bang, bang, I hit you, bang, bang. Toughest guy wins, which was him, right? I said, you're too brave, you just go in, take a punch, so you can hit them. Don't need to be taking punches, no point, because they hurt, agree? So, to him, half step. So over here, so you just go back your half step. Right. So now, right, distance is wrong for me, I can't reach him. But as soon as he gets to a half, he goes this half step, he hits me, and he's straight back half step. It takes some doing, but once you understand this half step, you do it all the time.
Yeah.
So we're moving around, and he half steps me, bang, and hits, and then he's gone again. We move half step and gone again. Half step, gone again. And it's annoying, right? It's really annoying. And Theodore destroyed all the people you used to be fairly equal with. He just destroyed them all. But another guy came down. Matey, who went the headline of the show. I didn't believe it. This guy came to the gym. Strong guy. Blah, blah, blah. Again, said to Theodore, you're not allowed to hit him. Just touch, just tap. Mate, he's swinging wild, couldn't land. In the end, he faked an injury to get out. The guy was headlining a 1FC show a few months later in Japan. It was the main event. I thought he was bullshitting when he told us that, but he wasn't. I showed you the link, didn't I? Yeah. Unbelievable. And he couldn't land a glove on him. He could not land a glove on him. And he was not allowed to hit. And the guy was swinging wild at him. And I said to Theodore, no, don't hit him, it's bullying. I didn't realise the guy was supposed to be really good. But there you go. Anyway, so this half step. So again, it's here, and you just half step in, whenever you want, bang, and it's gone. And it's annoying. Now, the half step, why would you want to be at half step distance all the time? Well, think of it like this, right? We're going to do this step by step. Right? So we're in normal fighting stance, right? And let's say I'm the good guy, I'm going to do a half step for a second. Yeah. So you stay where you are. Let's say I've gone half step away, right? So now Theodore knows he's got to advance to get to me, right? So that's one thing. So in his mind, he knows he's got to come in to get to me. I know he's got to move in to get to me. So knowing that he's got to move in, knowing that he knows he's got to move in, you can use that to your advantage because you know they've got to move in. So you set them up. So you be at your normal distance. You've done this quite a few times. You move back to your half step. You know he's going to come because he's going to advance towards you, as everyone does. So do that. So you get to your normal distance. You've done a little bit of moving around. You come away. You know he's going to come. Here he comes. Follow. Right. So you know he's going to move. So as he's moving in, you throw your shot. 1, The other thing is that you're at your normal distance, slow motion. He throws his jab, and you catch it. So you don't do the half step. You just do it. So he throws the jab, pop, you catch it. He throws it again, you catch it. So you've done that a few times. This time he throws your jab, you sit back with it and catch it. So now you set him the trap that you're always moving that little half step back off the jab. So if I throw the jab to you, Theodore, do you mind just moving back with your half step and catching the jab? I'll do it slowly. So pop. And again, so watch what he does. Pop. So he's moving back and do it properly though. Properly. So when he moves, everything's covered and he's in the half step. So now, let's do it from this side as well. So again, you move. So when he moves, he does his half step. Pop. So what happens is that he's setting me up now. So when he moves back to his half step as I jab, he just moves and catches it back. So now I know to get him, I've got to go in. But he's setting me up for that. As I go in, as I reach in that little bit further from a jab, he just set back, pop. And hit. So he'll hit with the backhand this time. So when I come in, pump, and then bang, the counter comes. So that half step, you set them up, bang. And if you look at Holyfield versus Buster Douglas, Holyfield does the most perfect setup, half step, knockout to win the world heavyweight title. He's in here, he just sits back, Douglas moves in, pop, end of fight, good night. Okay, beautiful. But that half step is missing so many places. We don't know anyone else doing it. And when you're doing it to people, they can't land. They really struggle, yeah? Mm. So the half step is well worth learning. Okay. Some get-ins on somebody who's being very, very defensive. We use these a lot. Show from this side. I'll let Theodore do it on me. Right. Quite often you get the guy who's covered up in here like this. So you're in close and he's covered right up. And they've got such a good defense, you can't get through, you can't do anything. Just pull the arm down. So when I'm here, you pull the arm down, bang, and then you hit, bang. So if I don't do this because I know he knows what to do. So when we're in like this, I don't just stand there like that, he'll just pull the arm down and start hitting you. So from that side as well, please. You do this one. Grab this one so you can see. So it's here, you'll pull the arm down and then start hitting. Or the other one, start hitting. And then the other thing that we do with it,
opposites also.
Yeah, and also can you do that as well? Can you move around, do that on it?
Okay.
So if I'm in here like that, you pull the arm down or cover it there, that's it, and then go all the way around there and then round, and then they're hitting you. So show it from this side. Do you mind showing it from there as well? So it's here, covered with the arm, one, so I can't do it, I can't move, I'm pinned, and then spin round. See how my arm's been knocked down. And then controlling that elbow, and then the punches start. Okay. We show it again. Come around this way this time. You do it from here. And come around this way so people can see this way. So I'm covered here. He pins me. Wallop one, round two, and look at the control. You might just go to there. See the control on this elbow. I can't get back here. So now I'm getting punched. That backhand is coming in, hitting. And what people tend to do once they start to get hit like that, they turn. So that most people, they're being controlled here, look, they try to move. As they move, they're still controlling. So it's really difficult for me. The other thing that can happen is once he's controlled that elbow, if I come this way, he might just go around the back of me, and all of a sudden, he's there, takedowns, all sorts of stuff. It's bad news. So we like to use, I'll go here, this one. They like to use that arm across a lot. Either side, and watch the footwork as well. See that? Can you show that footwork again, please, Peter? And now from this angle. So if you're facing me, please, Peter. Do it on me here. And then do you mind just staying there? Just pause. Just stay there. Right. Look at the footwork. It's the same as that original drill. Look at the shoulder. It's coming down the same as that original drill. So it's nothing different. We're just using it in a different place. So it's holding me here, and then the next bit you might be firing a shot with this hand, fire your shot, bang, which is the next part of that drill that we did. Or he might just move all the way around and do the other side of the drill, but the footwork is the same. Thank you, Dina. Yeah. Right. So we have certain things that we use all the time. This footwork drill that we did at the very beginning is being used close in. It's being used to move away, move around the body. It can be used at all sorts of angles as well. You just got to use your imagination as to where it can be used and just test it out. There's other footwork drills that we use in close as well. They're just a couple of them blow people's minds. So do you mind being there? I'll show one that we got. I'll come just to show get that angle. So we're in here, and we're going to pop, whatever we're fighting. Go square on, please. To show them. So pop, square on. It's a 50-50 thing. Don't like 50-50. So just one of the things that we like to do, we were doing this actually only on Thursday and Friday last week. So we're here, covering here. Now there's lots of ways you can cover it. It's all up to you, however you want to cover it. Okay? But I like to step through here, cover, and then turn. Hit. Now it looks a bit cumbersome sometimes, but when you're doing it in sparring, you're doing it quick, it's lovely. So we're in here, we're all hitting each other, cover it, and just step and round. And keep covering this elbow. So if you do it on me, do that, walk through one. So I'm in here, we're covered up, and he steps and through, and then wallop. And it's amazing how many times you can get that done and keep controlling that elbow. Ever since he's done that elbow, he loves it.
Yeah.
Right. The fighter that sits back not engaging always wants to get. How do you get into that? Right, okay. The one that's sitting back all the time, not engaging.
How about good uppercut kick?
What is that?
Rib jab, rib cage.
Uppercut. Kick into the rib. Okay, yeah, don't worry, we'll do that as well. Right. The one that's sitting back all the time, the one that's always defending, you keep jabbing, please do. The one that's always just defending, always defending. How do you get in? But it's difficult. If they're not prepared to engage, it's difficult. Now, if it's non-sport and they're not prepared to engage, you can just walk off. Right? If it's sport and they're not prepared to engage, well, one of the ways that we would always say get in on them is just force it. Because if I'm always defending, and Theodore's jabbing, just slow motion to, and I'm always defending, he'll gradually push me further and further back, and sooner or later, the ropes are going to be there, at which point I can't go any further back, and then I would say smother them. Just smother them, get in on them, work your way in. Now, the other thing that we do is work your way in fast. Okay. That original footwork drill, do you mind just doing that pop again? Just that pop, right. Okay, so now imagine that, but he's thrown a jab with it, right? So there. Now imagine that same move, but instead of doing it sideways, he's moved in on me as he's thrown pop, right? So now he's coming in. He's gone off angle because my jab's going over here. So he's gone off angle, throwing the punch up here. Now he's going to come around the outside, and in. So that's another way we get in on a defensive fighter. If I'm in here very defensive, do you mind showing it that way so I can see? So you do the same thing, pop and round. So I'm defensive fighter, not wanting to engage, boom, and now he's going to move around, pop, and then round. And he'll get in on you. That's a real good way that we've found getting in, or push them back to the ropes into the corner. Uppercut into the rib cage. Yeah, okay. We call that, for our way of training, we call that doing a Duran to somebody, Duran. Look back at tapes of Roberto Duran and you'll learn everything you need to know about fighting. It is the absolute best there's ever been, in my opinion, okay? So, you can't argue, can you, when you Duran it? Right, so, when you look back at Duran, when he was in fighting, you'll see a lot of times where he's throwing an uppercut, or hook, and you'll see it literally almost jump up in the air. And when you do it his way on the bag, the oomph on that bag is ridiculous, and the power that you hit somebody with is ridiculous. Duran was a legend. He still is, Steve. Yeah. So that movement there, we just call it Duran it. If I ever say to Theodore, we've got so far with something, now Duran it, he knows what I mean. It's just pop. That explosiveness.
Actually, it's similar that Superman punch.
Yeah.
The Superman punch. You have
and this every time we say this, it's that DEF is really Duran it. when this comes into play, when you get that with it. So, and we talk about keeping in the tracks. You know, this is really important for self-defense as well, because if I'm going to throw a punch at Theodore and I go like this, self-defense, he sees it coming and hits you. If it's a sports fight and I'm really wide with it, he sees it coming and hits you. So, no point. If we're in close even, and I go like that, he sees it coming and hits you. So again, you can't be what we call outside the tracks. Now the tracks is here. Think of it like railway tracks. You can't go outside the track. If I go like outside the track, there's the track. If I want to hit and I go outside the track, I've gone too wide and you'll see it. So if I'm here with Theodore and I go like this, he sees the punch. You would, I would, everyone does. Might get away with it, but he sees the punch. So when I'm here and I go like that, he sees it, he'll just push my shoulder, can't throw the punch. Or I go like that, he just hits me. Can't throw the punch. So I don't want to be here, outside, right, wide. So we do what we call Geranic. This elbow has got to be connected to your hip. Yeah, I'll do that for you in a sec, Tom. Right? That elbow has got to be connected to the hip here. So when you're in here, with the elbow connected to the hip, pop, I can throw, pump, without going outside the track. Now, it may not look like much here, but I guarantee you it's one hell of a punch. And when you're in here, pop, and you uppercut. Don't forget, your DEF, all of this is going on, this stays in the hip, pop. And we were doing this only today, actually, on the back. And, well, you tell them what sort of power you were getting with it.
Yes, twice, 3 times more powerful.
Yeah, than this.
But when you get used to hit wide,
yeah,
and to change like that, you think you will be less powerful. But if you have low position,
yeah,
and then you go up, you have much more power.
Yeah. And the power he generates from in here,
short
distances. From this far, he's getting more power than he did from right back here before. Yeah. And it's that much faster, that much quicker, that much more powerful, that much more chance of landing. Hence, Geranic, because Duran's the best ever.
And like you say, if you're wide, you can see it, so you get counter all the time.
Yeah, and if you've got the half step and the other guy's wide, he should never land on you. Should never land on you. Tom, and you straight punch the sternum using the wave motion whilst the person is boxing you. Yeah, just as you would. It's explain what I mean. So if you're,
you should uppercut.
Sorry, the uppercut for Robert before. Yes. From here, it's the same thing, Robert. You're down here, elbow in, everything flies from it. It's not this. See a lot of that sort of thing. It's not that, it's here. Pop! So that this sets it here. So you can be here, pop, pop. I like shovels, but here, pop. So it's not a huge arm thing. Yeah, you can do that, but it's big again. And you know, I'm not gonna land it. If I go like that, I'm getting hit before. If I'm in here, I've got a good chance of landing it. So we always like to keep elbow and hip, that connection. Tom, for the straight punches, they're boxing you. But if somebody's boxing you, if you're a good boxer, you're in a lot of trouble unless you're a good boxer. All right? But the straight punch is just the same as throwing a straight backhand. So if we're here, it's all about distance again. If I move off at this distance, Theodore can't hit me without moving in, but I can hit him. So I would say the best way for you to land it, Tom, is that you've got to understand this move away closer, so and these angles. So when we're here, this is even. I can hit, you can hit. I don't want it 50-50, I want it 60-40 or 70-30 or 80-20 in my favour. So by moving off to here, now Theodore can't reach me without stepping in. But I can reach with my backhand. So my punch to the sternum, Tom, is going to land because I've got the distance. But even when it's landed here, Theodore can't reach me. Unless he just moves his foot again, then he will. Now he's got me. Right? So you have to be aware of that foot. And it doesn't take much. It's only like an inch or so and it changes. So again, one of the little tips that we say is when you come out to start a spar and you touch gloves, well, we'll do it. You get to a position where you can hit people.
Yeah.
So imagine Theodore's in his corner. You go to your corner. I come out my corner. We touch gloves. On the set. Now he's immediately gone to the right position where I can't land, but he can land on me and with the backhand. So the second and there, he will never move away from half step from there. So if I move away, he just keeps the pressure on, keeps the pressure on all the time. That's what that half step's all about. Look at Usyk for a great half step at the moment. And Tyson Fury half step, he did it against Wilder. Yeah. And obviously Lomachenko as well, doing the half step all the time. Always pressure on. That half step is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Floyd, of course. Floyd. Okay. Yeah. But now Floyd in his list of the best ever, he put himself first, discount that. He put Duran second, so there you go. The last one was pad work, because I keep saying pad work is a load of BS. And it is, because people, if you be boxing, most people like this with it. 1, 2, and they go 1, 2, 3, 1, and they go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's just like
I don't get this.
No, you spit it out. Yeah, confused doing it the old way. But most people are here with it, and it's wide, too wide, and you know a pad guy can make a boxer or anybody. You can make them look really good, or you can make them look really bad. It's up to you how you do it. I can make somebody who's not very good look really good on pads doing it this way, pop, and the pad guy's doing all the work. No. Got one here. It's got to be like a real fight. So I do it so that we basically, to start with, we only ever use jab or 1-2, jab cross, that's it. And this can be used for self-defense as well, don't forget. This can be used for self-defense as well, because you're practicing the jab and the backhand. But just the jab, please do that. So he gets in normal boxing stance. I'm in normal boxing stance. Correct distance, not stood here like this.
Yes.
Right, you get in your normal boxing stance. Most people do pads like that. Jab. Oh, great, yeah, jab. Oh, yeah, good one. Yeah, like that. It's the biggest load of garlics you could ever imagine.
Do I put the gloves?
Oh, yeah, we just touch. And then, and they're out here. But what we want is proper boxing stance. I get proper stance here, proper distance, everything. Now, for me here, my backhand, right? My backhand is the hand that he is going to be hitting at. Now, because we're only going dead light, dead slow, we can show you properly. So you can see it at this angle. I put the pad here at the side of my head. I move my head slightly. I don't move my whole body. I'm here, and I'll keep it where I would keep my glove normally. We move around, and I move it to here, pop, just even size seconds, pop, and it's here, pop. If you don't trust the other guy, or it's bare knuckle, you put it here, underneath, pop. And once it's in, they don't hit. When it's out, they hit. So it's here, pop. Now that keeps the distance right, the movement right, and the distance is right, because when this is here underneath my head, it's an inch or two back from my jaw. So his punch would have hit me. So when we do a pad work, it's here, pop. So that it's in the right place for him to understand and learn where all these things are. So we will be moving around like a real fight. Pop, 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 pop. Right. So he does it correctly, pop. So that he knows that we're practicing properly. He's learning distance, timing, footwork, movement, where everything is. And I'll be using this other hand to do stuff. So it's a proper, real go at what's happening. And that's how we would use pad work. So it becomes more and more like a real fight. Which to me, that's how it should be, instead of all this. Which I really annoy.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you won't do it the other way anymore.
And even me, when I grabbed the pads for you, I learned.
Yes.
Much more than.
Yes, because the pad guy will be learning as well.
Yes.
Which is a very important point.
Very important.
And one of the big questions we used to ask the people when they've been doing pads like this.
And I didn't expect that, because I think I just hold the pad for you, make you work, but actually I work, and the second time I start getting better because
because you were learning from that, and it's very important that I've got to mention. Real big point is that you're learning. Because I used to say to people when they do pads like this, what did you learn from that session? What did you learn? What have you learned? I'm not learning it. I'm just having a workout. I'm just doing pads.
Just hold the pad.
What a waste of time then. Because if you're going to be doing some training, train smart with it and learn something while you're doing it. So when we do it this way, where it's in here and it's like that, pop, you're learning. This guy's learning. This guy's learning. You're moving, you're getting distance, timing, footwork, balance, pop, everything. And if he gets his jab wrong, do it wrong. Do it don't too short, so your distance is wrong. Oh, he's wrong. So, wow, you're wrong. You got your distance wrong. Boom. Right, distance is wrong. This guy's learning. This guy's learning. We have another one. Last one, because then we're going to go. The last one is you give a present and take it away. Once he got that, it was even more annoying trying to spar with him, right? Because once you understand, give a present, take it away, a whole new world opens up. Especially when you mix in the half step and everything else, and the distance, and time, blah blah blah. So give a present, take away. Do you want no more boxing stands, please? So we're in here. He gives me a present. So he's inviting me to throw something. When I throw it, he takes his present away. Bang. So he's setting me up. So he gives me a present, takes it away. Gives me a present, takes it away. This time, he's going to give me a present, take it away, and make me pay. So he gives me a present. I reach in because it keeps bang, and then it comes back. Because every time he's giving me that present and taking it away, I've missed. And it gets so annoying. He gives me slow motion. He gives me a present, bang, he's taking it away. Damn, I haven't got it. He gives me a present, he's taking it away. I haven't got it. I keep falling short. So I'm going to get him this time. So I'm going to step in with it. So when he gives me a present, I step in with it because I've been missing all the other times, been falling short. I go in that little bit further, he's taking it away, and then he counters me. Boom! Because he was just making me move in. He's giving me that present, taking it away to counter. Floyd does it all the time, master of it. Look at all the old-time fighters, master of it. You can do the same thing in self-defense, a bit more dangerous. I always recommend hitting first, but you can. Sorry, what was that? How do you position yourself to use a downward punch? 1, 2, and 3. Right. So, how do you position yourself to use a downward punch? Basically, so because then you can apply it anywhere. Okay. So, a downward punch is obviously a punch dropping down. So you position yourself exactly the same as you would position yourself for any other punch. Because if from here, you just move backwards a little bit, please. So you get your normal boxing stance. So we're here. If Theodore throws his jab to here, bang, you can say that's a straight punch, right? Now, what we didn't show earlier was that when we do the pad work, we will do multiple jabs. You might throw a straight jab first, but then the second, third, and fourth may be dropping down. So you know when you're doing the drop down jab. So watch this, do it slow motion, please. So when this comes out here, and then he drops the jab and he drops it down. Now see, and again, bang. Now watch this shoulder and watch the rotation here. Bang. And now watch how the body shifts. That's it. Right? Pop. There you go. And again. Pop. Yeah. And again. Now get low and do it. So you can do it from low and still hit down in the same position. My hand doesn't move, but he's got low. Get even lower, please. Do the same. Still, ow. Still hitting down. Bang. It gets a lot more oomph behind it. So that was a good one. So that, I'll do it your side, man. So that drop down here comes from the way your body moves. You still do exactly the same move as you do for a normal hit, whether it be a jab, straight punch, whatever it may be. But you alter the angle as it comes in to drop it down. So I hope that's answered your question, Tom, because you do use that on anything all the way around. So you can then choose your target. It doesn't necessarily have to be the target that you mentioned. Right? So you can use, you can be any target. You go stomach 25, stomach 5, you can go stomach 18, whatever you want. There's loads of targets that you can go for. You just hit it down. All right. So I hope that's helped. Theodore?
I have a question.
Yes, of course.
Yes, also you can show maybe explain that no twist when you tight. Don't twist.
Right, yeah, okay, okay. Okay. A lot of people talk about where the punch, which way round the hand should be and all this sort of stuff. A blasé answer is, doesn't matter as long as you land it, but ideally you want to be hitting with the bottom three. Now, when you're in close, right, if I'm in close, pop, my hand's going to be vertical, right? Because the distance is short, so here. Or if I'm shoveling, my fingers are gone again. If I turn it this way, sorry, my hand sometimes goes into a spasm. But if I'm shoveling it, it's this way, and it's here. Right? But that's it, because it's close. The further away, as this goes here, it might have to turn. And then the further away again, it might have to turn even more. So you might end up with it upside down. And that's, in fact, how I often would recommend a jab. When you drop in low, you drop it in here, it will turn. Because then you can hit with the bottom three, because they align in everything. So you get in the same punch, whether it's a jab here, a jab here, a jab movement here, the same punch will have a different ending to it depending on distance. Sorry, my hand sometimes goes into a spasm. So, same with the hook, right? We sometimes say, sorry, I'll do it this one, his hand's gone. Yeah. If you think a hook, look. So you think of a hook, we shovel it here, we hook it round. Yeah, no, look, great time for my hand to go. And then think of it like you're holding a jug of beer. As you go up, it turns as you drink it. Pop. So the same with the hooks. So you're in. This one's going as well now. So bang, 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 depending on where you are and whether you're bare knuckle or not. And my hands have gone into spasm. They do that occasionally. I can't move them now. So
actually, the excuses stuff.
Yeah, just next thing, but it's gone. I can't move it. So. Right. So look, this one's gone as well. It's gone now. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. Thank you very much. Yes. I'll try and put my hands back. Thank you very much, David. Yeah, it's like it sometimes just goes because the
cramp,
the shoulder thing, yeah, and the nerve damage thing. Yeah. So is that Kenny Claw? Yeah, Kenny Claw. That was fun. So, but thank you everyone. Thank you, Theodore. And
thank you, everyone.
You get ready for him hitting the boxing scene very soon. He's going to start knocking everybody out. If you look at a fighter called Israel Madrimov, watch him, Israel Madrimov. That's how he fights, and that's how he's going to fight. Anyway, thanks a lot, Theodore.
Thank you. Yes.
Well done. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to come forward and switch off. Thank you. Thank you. Bang. There we go.